Nice to meet you. Just have a seat in that chair right there for me, Randy, please. It says today's date is May 27th, 2010. It's about 8:55 a.m. and we're at the Tift County Sheriff's Office. It says your name is Kenneth Randall Tomlinson. You're 48 years old and your address is 311.
This is Special Agent Eric Schwalls. Today's date is Thursday, May 27th, 2010. Time right now is approximately 3:08 p.m. Currently located in Colquitt County, Georgia, on Vickers Bridge Road. On Vickers Bridge, we'll be driving to the location of the decedent. At this time, I have placed a yellow caution tape leading the direction of the decedent's body remains. I'll be pausing tape now at approximately 3:12 p.m.
Nice to meet you. Just have a seat in that chair right there for me, Randy, please. Graham is going to readvise your rights. We're going to go back over everything. Now this time we're going to go over everything, okay? Let me ask you a couple of questions. This is for the record. This is for me and you, okay? Has there been any threats, coercions of any kind made to you? Everything that you tell me is the truth, right?
Everything I told you is true.
Okay. And at this point, we're just going to go back over everything because at this point, you've already taken us to where y'all took Sunday, and Graham's going to ask you some questions, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Randy, this is the same thing.
I'll trace these with you.
All right. This is the same thing that Sean went over with you earlier.
Mine are blue, so.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you would just read this top part to me, so I have to make sure you can read right.
Well, it's 5:27:10, 1:25 p.m. Tiff Sheriff's Office. Kenneth Randall Tomlinson. Well, Randy it says there. Completed a 12th grade. Now Graham, Russ,
Which is
Sean,
me.
Edgar.
You've met Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Special agents with the GBI.
Yeah.
They told me that I have the right to remain silent.
That's
Anything
right.
I say can be used against me in a court of law. Have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with me while I'm being questioned. If I cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent me before any question if I wish. I can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not to answer any questions or make any statement. I understand these rights, having these rights in mind, I'm now willing to talk about the death of Sunday Blombergh.
Yes.
I have not been threatened, I have not been promised anything, I have not been forced in any way to answer any questions or make any statements. You understand all that? Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Sign that top line and I'll sign underneath. Okay, Randy. Take me, let's start at the beginning and go back through everything once more.
Okay. It was April 22nd, 2010.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. When is the first time that you encountered this situation?
Can you be a little more?
Like, had Herman mentioned anything in the past, or had he told you before you got to the
He
house?
had mentioned that she needed to be gone.
She is who?
She's referring to Sunday Blombergh.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know her last name until all this happened. That's how good I knew the girl. But he had said a few times that she needed to be gone, and that she was causing too many problems and too much trouble. I honestly think what went ahead and broke the straw, so to speak, is when the drug dealer boyfriend, whatever, come to the house, and they were doing their thing and doing drugs and that kind of stuff. I really feel that's what kind of was the final breaking point.
When, do you know when that was?
I'm not 100% certain about it, Graham. I think that the guy, whoever it is, had been out there, during that week that Herman come home. He got home Thursday, I believe I told. And I think it had happened sometime earlier in the week and had been going on, for a little while, from what I was told. Thursday the 22nd, I was at work, of course, and we'd been told earlier in the week that we would only work half a day that Thursday. Reason being is we're going to have to come in on Saturday and work half a day as well. So that was the reason I got off at noon on that day. Herman had called me a little before time for me to get off, and I told him I was about to get off, in just a little bit. He said, well, come on out to Mama's house. He referred to his mother. And they made me a cake, and you come on out here, you have some. And so I went. I probably got there, I don't know, somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. I got out there. We visited for a little bit with his mama and his sister and all that. And, cut some cake, ate it. Just enjoyed the conversation, really. Mm-hmm. And Herman told me.
So everything was perfectly normal up to that point?
Everything seemed normal. Herman was a little jumpy, little edgy. I noticed now, looking back.
Had he told you to bring anything to the house?
He told me to bring some hydrogen peroxide to him. I asked him, well, what's up? How come? He said, well, I cut my finger. I didn't say nothing else about it after that. I stopped by and got some and went out there. A little small bottle. So, anyway, we get done, visiting there at his mama's house. And I get in the truck with him.
Well, let me ask you this.
Sure.
When you get to the mama's house, you get in the hydrogen peroxide, do you see his finger, or?
I seen that it was cut.
You know which finger it was?
I want to say it was his right index finger. What I want to say it was.
Okay. Did you see how bad it was, or?
It looked kind of nasty. It's like maybe an inch long. He had started clotting up some. Of course. But he just wanted to kind of rinse it out. Keep it from being infected. That as far as I know, that's what the peroxide was for. Okay. And we left there in his little truck, went over there to the double wide where he and Ruby lived, and he said, "I got something I need your help with." I said, "Well, what is it, Herm? What's up?" I'm thinking he's talking about, because I knew he and Ruby were having difficulties, and my mind was thinking, well, he wants me to help him get some of his stuff out of here. He's going to go ahead and just leave. We walked back there to the back where Sunday's bedroom was at.
Was that in the far corner of the house?
Yeah. He opened the door, and and there she was.
What did you see, Randy?
I seen her laying there, kind of, just laying there on the floor.
Was she laying on her back or on her
On her
stomach?
back. She was. I remember. I looked at her tummy, so you could see some of her tummy. See if it was moving up and down like breathing. It never did. And she was dead. She was dead.
Did you?
I was just in complete, total shock that she was. I mean, I've been around dead folks, funerals and what have you, not like that.
Did you see any blood?
Yeah, there was blood.
Where was the blood at?
I noticed some on her torso, her front there. And I think there's some come out her mouth and her nose. She looked a mess. It looked awful, just terrible. I remember thinking, how could he have done that? I know what he said. Herman says a lot of stuff. I just couldn't believe that he had done that. That he had literally done that.
What was his explanation for it?
That he was tired of putting up with her, and she was causing too many problems and too much trouble, and that it seemed to him that was the only way it was going to happen.
Did you ask him how she died or how he killed her? Or?
He told me he shot her in the head with a small caliber gun.
Did he say what caliber?
Maybe it was 22. It was a small caliber. I think it was 22. He said, but I don't know. And then that didn't kill her. So he told me he tried to choke her, but that didn't work neither. So he got a knife. He told me he stabbed her under the rib cage and cut her heart. Is what he said to me. I'm still standing. I went there in the living room, sat on the couch, just numb and scared and shocked and everything you could think about being.
Sure.
I mean,
how was Herman acting? Was he in the same state you were? Or?
He wasn't a whole lot better than I was. No, he wasn't. He was kind of that same way. He was frightened and afraid, and he was like, "Oh, man, come on, you got to help me. You're the only one that can help me. You are the only one that can help me with this." And I'm saying, Herm, I just don't know that I can. I don't know that I can help you. He said, "Well, you got to help me, man. You got to help me." And regretfully, now, I guess it was my state of mind that I was in. I wasn't thinking. I helped him.
Let me ask you this, Randy. When he was telling you all the different ways he was trying to kill her, did he say what kind of time frame was in there?
I don't recall him telling me a time frame.
Okay. Did
I
he say
recall.
where he shot her at, or
I think she was actually sitting on the couch when he shot her.
sitting on the couch?
I think so.
Where did he shoot her at?
We shot her in the head, he said.
Did he say?
That's what he told me.
Did you see?
Kind of. He said kind of right here. I didn't notice any of that. I did not notice any. She was bloody up here because I figured, okay, well, that's where the knife was.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I just noticed.
He's saying he shot her around the
temple area.
The right side of her temple, or
well, it probably been the left side.
the left side, maybe.
That's just what I figured it was. I didn't pay attention to that. I didn't.
Right. And he said that She didn't die when he shot her.
She didn't die right then. He said he had left for just a short time, come back. He thought she would probably be dead, and she wasn't. Oh God! He told me that the girl told him she didn't know what had happened. That she couldn't hardly move, and she wanted Herman to help her.
So he shot her in the head and then left, and then came back, and she was asking him to help her.
Help her, get off the couch or whatever.
So she was talking to him at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that when he started choking her?
I think he must have helped her to go to the bedroom. I think it's what he done. Now he didn't say he helped her, but that's where she was when I seen her. Okay, so he had to have got her there somehow. And then, now this is me
Sure.
speculating. Now he told me he choked her, but I think probably he took whatever it was he tried to choke her with and done it in there, in the bedroom. And that didn't work. It didn't kill her. And then he said we went and got the knife.
Did he say like a kitchen knife? Or
He didn't say what kind of knife. He just said he got the
went and
knife.
got a knife.
And did what he done.
Yeah, it sure is.
But he said it was hard for him to do because he had to look her in the eye while he was stabbing her.
Wow.
I wasn't there, Graham, but that just scared the shit out of me.
You should. Randy, that's things that normal people can't do.
That scares the holy shit out of me, man. I'm telling you that.
So he said he's looking her in the eye when he's stabbing
He's
her.
told me since that she's been a haunting him and everything. And I bet probably that would be one way to tell it, I guess.
Okay.
I think he probably regrets what he did. I believe he did. He does, but he can't go back and undo it. It's done.
Yeah. So you all go back in the living room, sit down, and talk about it. Did you see any blood on the couch or the floor? Or?
There was a place on the couch right there where the head your head would be, kind of a bloody place. Because I asked him what it was, he told me what he had did.
Did you see any blankets or pillows or anything else like that that had blood on it?
I didn't see none of that. I did. I seen the couch had a place on it, that I think he probably cleaned up. I'm sure he probably did. But you guys were out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably seen part of what they say. Y'all can tell if something's been cleaned up or not. I mean, I don't know. Y'all got all kind of stuff that you do.
So y'all go back in the living room and basically he's trying to convince you to help him. And then
I'm just sitting there just in a state of complete shock.
yeah.
And just numb all over from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I was just numb. I couldn't hardly move. I was scared, And I'm looking for the deputy or something to come running up there right then. Is what I'm looking for, And I'm afraid because here I am. He has done this. He has done this to that girl. And now then, he's thrown me in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, he's put me in there. Real. And, yeah, I'm thinking, damn, this ain't fair.
No.
I didn't ask for none of all that. I didn't want nothing to do with that. She was working at that little pantry over there. And every once in a while, I would stop and get a drink over there before I, started doing what I was doing. But when I found out she was working there, I didn't go there no more. I didn't want nothing to do with the girl. Because I knew what they had said about her and all that kind of stuff. And You know, I quit going to that store. I found me another one to go to.
When you went in the room, what did the room look like? Was it
It was a mess.
a mess?
It was a complete mess. Clothes everywhere on the floor. The bed I don't think the bed had no sheets on it. You know,
Was she laying on top of the clothes, or?
Yeah, kind of. You know, there was some clothes under her, and then there's parts of her that there wasn't no clothes under her. And, you know, I guess that's where she fell at, I suppose. You know, and she was kind of laying. You know, her legs were kind of splayed out. You know, and you know, she just in a complete mess. Just a mess. And oh shit, this ain't something I do. I don't do this kind of thing.
I know.
I don't think if he had told me over the phone what he wanted me to do, I wouldn't have never went out there. I flat wouldn't have come. And if he told me, Randy, I need you to come help me move this body, I said, well, I'm sorry, dude, I can't do that. But I was there, and it just kind of, here it is.
Randy, let me, if you don't mind, I'll break up for just a minute. I like to sit back and watch folks talk.
Yeah,
Okay, I like to do that. And you've noticed I've been watching you the entire time.
I know.
You mentioned something that really struck me as odd.
Okay.
When you went in there to that bedroom,
No.
was Sunday alive or
No.
was she deceased?
I think she was dead because, like I was telling, I watched her belly. Now, because it'll move up and down when you're breathing. I don't think she was alive. I mean, you know, she was dead. You know.
Let me ask you this, and we're not protecting anybody at this point, okay? Once you got to the house,
No.
is that when Herman found her alive and he did what he did?
No. All that was done for I ever come.
And you certain about that?
Yes.
This is the other dagger that's hitting me. When you walked in there, was she clothed from the waist down?
Yeah. She had on some shorts.
Were they undone? Were they done?
I think they were buttoned up. I believe they was.
But her legs were spread.
Yeah, they were kind of spread out. You know. I mean, I just figured that when she died, they just kind of fell out. I mean, I ain't been around a bunch of dead folks, so I don't really know. But that's what I thought happened. You know.
But she had clothes on.
Had clothes on, yes, sir. Had clothes on. Had clothes on. Had on a pair of shorts and a shirt.
Do you know what color the shorts were?
Well, like I told Sean earlier, I think they were blue jean shorts. I think. But now, you know, taking all this in right then at that time,
I know. I understand.
it was just overwhelming. I can't be certain about what kind of clothing she had on. I know it was shorts and a shirt. And beyond that, I'm not certain about none of it. I mean, I'm really not. You know, if I did, I'd tell y'all. I mean, you know, why wouldn't I tell y'all now? You know, but I don't know what kind it was, or what really what color, or what kind of shirt it was. I mean, I just know she had them on. Now, I don't think she was wearing a bra. I don't think she was doing that, but you know, sometimes women don't.
That's right.
And so I didn't think a lot about none of that. So,
Did she say anything to you?
huh?
Did she say anything to you or in your presence?
No, I mean the girl was dead. I mean,
Are you certain she was dead?
I'm certain she was dead. I'm certain she was dead because you know, Herm went up kind of moving her around a little bit, and I didn't hear a sound come out of her or nothing. I mean, not one single thing. You know. Yeah.
At that point, did you or did you not see the gun and the knife?
I didn't see no gun and no knife. Herman told me that he had done thrown them away.
Where again did he say he threw them to?
He told me he threw them in the river. Is what he told me. Now, he didn't say what river or what location or nothing like that. Just I throwed them in the river.
Where do you think that could be at?
Well, I had thought maybe out there at Lake Larry, But, well, that's not the river, but, that's water. But then his mama's house is set right there as you come up there at it. And there's somebody that's seen him do something or another.
Who did?
I mean, somebody probably would have. So, and I'm not sure where the nearest location of the river is out there from where they lived at. I don't really know where the nearest point of the river is. So
what you're saying is you don't know.
When he told me the river, okay, the river, I don't know.
You didn't say what river?
I didn't ask him what river. At that time, my mind was so confused and had all this stuff in my head, everything I've seen and what he said and all of that. I was just completely overwhelmed. I didn't, he said, I just remember him saying the river. He threw him in the river. So,
So at that point, what do y'all do? You're at the house.
Well, we're at the house, and he said, I think the best thing to do would be to spread this here plastic out, big old plastic,
What
like
color
you
was
can
the
buy.
plastic?
It was clear,
Okay.
and set her on that, and then we'll roll it up in a blanket.
Roll everything in plastic and everything in a blanket.
Sir?
Roll everything in the blanket, the plastic, and the body and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what y'all did.
And that's what happened. And then we towed her out and put her on the back of the truck, his truck.
Is this out the front door or
Out the front door.
You wouldn't worry about anybody seeing her?
Well, I was,
You didn't care?
Well, it's not that I didn't care. I mean, my.
No, he's saying he didn't care.
Did Herman?
Oh! I don't know. If he cared, if he didn't care. But he said, "This is what we got to do." And see, right there in your front door, there's this big old tree that kind of blocks the across the road neighbor from seeing anything. And probably, if anybody seen anything, it would be them. So
What truck did he use?
his truck, his little Ranger, his truck. I left mine at his mama's house.
Explain to me the situation with the trucks. Are you driving one of his old trucks now?
Yeah, I am. It was Herman's old truck. See what happened. Here's the thing. Originally, the Ranger was mine. Okay, I'm the one that went and got it with a little help from another friend, and he signed with me to get it. Okay, I drove it probably for 6 months or something like that, and I began to get a little behind on the payment, and so I told Darren, I said, well, maybe we should just sell the truck. And Herm was kind of wanting him a new truck at the time, and that was a good little truck. It didn't hardly have 50,000 miles on it, and he said he would take up the payments on it. And so, I said, that's great, and I give him the keys to it, and he give me the keys to the little Chevy, that I'm buying from him. It's that black Chevrolet out there in the parking lot, step side. And I've been paying him for it, so. And I got.
Who is that vehicle registered to? The
It's
one
registered to
drives?
Herman. The Chevrolet?
No, the one.
Oh, it's actually registered to Darren. That's one of our good friends. Y'all talked to him and all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's registered to him, actually. It is.
Okay. Did Herman do anything with the license plates?
No, as far as I know, he didn't.
Okay. So, y'all get Sunday in the back of the truck. Take me from there.
And well, we left there. He don't know exactly where he wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
He don't have a clue. He talked about different places and all. I'm just saying, well, whatever, I guess. Well, we ended up out there where we finally did. He knew that was a place out there. He told me that right there at that point, where the overpass is and all, and you can go down there and fish and what have you, that a lot of people go there just to kind of get away from everything. People go there they want to do a little drugs. That's where they can do it at and not get caught. You know, if they just want to be alone, you know, that's a good place to go. Now, I'd never been there. I said, well, you know, it's one of your places you go to. He said, yeah, sometimes I come out here. I said, all right. But anyway, we went back up in there and put the body back yonder where y'all find it at.
Where you talking about where we took it to earlier?
Yeah, where we just come from. And so, you know, and that was pretty much it. It was very difficult for me to help him because I had that old cast thing on my leg. So it was very difficult for me to get through much of them bushes.
Let me ask you this: did y'all stop anywhere from Herman's house to that point?
No, we didn't stop anywhere else.
Straight there.
Now we did come back into town at Lennox, and they stopped at the Dollar General.
Okay. Well, hang on. On the way from Herman's house to where we found her at today, did he call anybody or?
No, he
take
didn't
any
talk
phone
to anybody
calls?
on the phone. He didn't talk to anybody on the telephone.
Was the telephone ringing?
No.
Or?
No, nobody called him. My phone didn't ring because that's not unusual. I mean, you know, middle of the day like that, I don't get a whole bunch of telephone calls.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but there wasn't no phone conversation going on. We went there and we put her body out. And
Did he drive the truck right up to the right?
he went out there and turned around, and also was headed back out.
Mm-hmm.
And we took her off the back of the truck, of course, and walked up in there, and that's where we
Just
put her.
what about the plastic in the car? Or the
Took her out of that
plastic?
when we got her back there. He pulled that off of her, and he said he was going to burn that.
Okay.
Now, I wasn't present when he did, but he said
When
he
he-
was.
When y'all unrolled the plastic in the blanket, what was she still clothed?
Yeah.
What did you see then? Was she?
Same thing I saw whenever was at the house there.
Did you see any
I mean,
more
of course,
blood or?
well, you know, I seen the same amount of blood, really. Of course, you know, her bowels had released and all that. That's what happens when you die, or that's what they tell me. And it smelled god awful, of course.
So she had feces all over.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we put her back there, and then we left. And like I say, he stopped there at Lennox at the little Dollar General and bought him a drink and I think some chips or something or another. And we went back to his mama's house so I could get my truck. I told him I had to go. That, you know, I had to leave.
Did you stay for the party?
Sir?
Did you stay for the party? You went back the next night to the party, right?
Saturday night.
Okay.
Saturday night was the party. I went out there. You know, and visited, and I was kind of nervous. Kind of, you know, you got this thing hanging over your head, you know.
Big cloud.
Even if you ain't told nobody about it, it's there, you know, and you're having to deal with it the best way you can. And so I went, and, you know, we eat hamburgers and all that, and had some more cake. And, you know, I left there probably about 10 o'clock, and I come home. Partly because I didn't want to get caught by the rainstorm, you know. And I didn't drink no alcohol that night either. But also because I had to get away from Herman for right then. Because I was still really upset.
What did you and Herman talk about on the way back to the house?
He told me that you don't worry about things, that, you know, if it comes to it, I'll take all the blame, and you know, I'll go down by myself, is what he told me. Excuse me, can I have that bottle of water?
You
now,
sure
please?
can.
That's what he told me. And I've asked him other times since then. Because, man, it's been on my mind. And I said, you know, how's this going to happen? I said, what if they up and find her? You know, and through evidence or forensics, whatever, however they do it, you know, they find out that you was involved, and say they pick you up, and they want to know, well, how did you move her? I mean, what are you gonna say? You did it by yourself? Are you gonna say that you had a helper? I mean, what? He said, no, I'll tell him I done it all by myself. I said, well, okay. You know, still felt bad about it half the whole time. It's been eating me up inside. Like I told y'all earlier in the car, going to church these last few weeks has been kind of, I mean, I've enjoyed going and everything, but I knew that there was something wrong, you know, that I did wrong, and, you know, God, you got to come clean, you know, and you got to, you know, tell what you did wrong and all that. So in a way, this is kind of a blessing, I guess. I got it off my chest.
Do you feel relieved?
I feel some relief, yes. I still feel a little upset, you know, that Herman's really going to go down and everything. I know this will happen.
You feel upset about Herman going down? You don't feel upset that he got you involved in this?
Well, I'm upset he got me involved in it. I do. But I also feel bad for him, too.
Why is that? Because he's your friend.
He's my buddy.
Did he do wrong?
He done wrong.
He did big time wrong, right?
He did big wrong. And he got me involved in it. It's because of him, you know, all this, not that my part was in it. But a part of me does still feel bad for him.
And you love him. I understand that, and that's understandable. Was anybody else involved in this?
No, sir. It was just the two of us.
Did he say anybody helped him?
No, he didn't say. He said he did it himself. That's what he told me.
Why did he say he did it?
He said that it had just reached the point where he couldn't take it no more. That she was just causing way too many problems, having, you know, way too much go on. She's bringing in people there to the house that he didn't want around there, and then of course Ruby didn't want them there neither, because that baby was there, and you know he had to do something. He had to do something to get rid of her.
Did you ask him why he didn't just kick her out the house, or?
Well, I had before.
There was other options than
I had
killing
before.
her.
I told him when he's, you know, fussing about her, and also, you know, just tell her she can't live there no more. But she don't have to leave by herself because you ain't gonna let that baby go. So he said, well, you know, we could do that, but they'd get the law involved, and she'd get the child anyway, which she would, because she is the mama. He said he had talked to some law enforcement people, and they told him that basically at that point there wasn't a lot they could do. You know, I mean, he said he had talked to some people. He didn't say who. He said he had talked to some.
I'm sorry, guys. Let me spell you right quick. Which has us?
As far as the law is concerned, do they have to know that I'm the one that helped y'all find her or anything?
Sir, ATF had a nexus into this due to the firearms. So, I mean, we don't get involved really in the states, you know, what's going on. I know these guys, and I do not think that,
And I would just ask.
I mean, you know, discovery happens. You know that. You've been in this field before. But,
I would just ask them to be discreet. You know?
oh, yeah. Yeah, no. It's not going to be, no. In my 11 and a half years with GBI, we never, you know, called, I guess you'd say I don't even watch TV, but WALB or whatever, say, hey, look. No. I mean, of course, there'd be news stories about, I'm sure.
She's
but,
found. And
right, but no, sir, ain't nobody in the business to.
I just don't want my name mentioned in none of it. I just really don't. You know, if that can be, you know. I'm not somebody that likes to have a picture took anyway.
Well, I get that.
regardless. I don't like my picture being photographed.
I'm the same way.
And
my
I
friend.
hate it. I was just asking him, what's the chance of my name not getting mentioned to her parents and her sisters and all that. I mean,
Well, let me always tell you this, and I don't sugarcoat anything. I've been honest with you.
I want you to.
Go. Everything's open record.
Yeah.
They can get a copy of the case report, and you can bet your sweet butt you're in the case report.
Oh, I know that.
Because you're very detrimental. You have helped us a lot.
Detrimental. That don't sound good.
Important. You're important in the case.
Oh, that thing come on while you was gone. I didn't bother with it. I just let it sit there.
Why don't you continue with what you were talking about?
Okay. Like I was saying, I mean, I feel bad about what happened. I truly do. In my heart, I knew it wasn't right. I knew it was wrong. About as wrong as anything can be. I think really my involvement with it is pretty much, right there at the time. It's thrown on me, and just instinct, I guess. I don't understand it myself really too much. Whatever it was, I mean, I helped him do that.
You helped them do what?
Take that body off, to go take it where I showed y'all it was.
Mm-hmm. And you did show us where she was at.
Yeah, I did. And I very much regret my actions on that day.
Randy, have you talked to Darian Bridget about this?
I haven't talked to him about it. I did, because he didn't know nothing about it. As far as I knew, he had no involvement.
Did Herman ever mention about talking to Darian?
Well, they talked to each other about it every day, but he said he didn't tell him nothing about all this. So he didn't say nothing to him about all this, going on. Because it wouldn't be, no reason to tell him. He wasn't there.
Is that Herman's best friend?
They are. They're best friends. They used to actually be kin a little bit through marriage. They still consider each other cousins. But
let me ask you this. Your gut feeling, again, we talked about you're not ignorant. You know what time it is.
yeah,
You got a best friend. And y'all been best friends for a while. Cousins even. Do you not think he's not going to tell him? Has he told you that he told Darren?
he didn't tell me. He ain't said nothing to me about him telling Darren.
Has
anything.
Darren or gave you the feeling that Herman's told him?
Well, I know that he's been questioned. Darren has.
Mm-hmm.
I know this. And he told me, he said he couldn't understand why in the world they'd want to question him. He said, whatever might have happened. He said, I know they're looking at Herman pretty hard, but, he says, I ain't had nothing to do with it. And I had no knowledge of any of that. And Darren has told me that,
Did he ever tell you anything like, don't worry about it, Randy, I'm not going to say anything that I've been told? Or
Oh,
anything?
no, he ain't never told me nothing like that. I mean, because he didn't have nothing to do with it. I mean, he couldn't tell me something like that.
Do you think Ruby knows about this?
I think Ruby highly suspects. I think Ruby has a feeling that Herman has done this. I don't know that for a fact that she knows. I mean, I don't, but
Did Herman say she was there when this happened?
no. Ruby wasn't there. She was at work at the flower shop.
Okay, so that's what he told you?
Yeah. And I figured she probably was. She works every day up there, so I had got no reason to not believe that that's where she was at. got in such a big mess.
Have you told us everything about this case?
I've told y'all all that I know. All that I can say for a fact, I have told you.
Let me ask you this, just covering the P's and Q's, if you will. Everything you've told us, Randy, is it the truth?
Yes, it's the truth.
Has anybody forced you to tell us this?
No, y'all ain't forcing me to say nothing.
Are you saying it because you want to get it off your chest?
I need to get it off my chest. I've been feeling guilty as hell. It's been on me for all these weeks that it's been. It's made, I've not really been myself. You know, I've tried to be myself, but you know, you got something this big on your conscience and
It hurts.
on your heart. It hurts you, and it's very difficult.
Let me ask you a big question. And I know the answer to it, or at least I hope I do. Are you sorry this happened?
Yes, I'm sorry it happened. God knows, like I said earlier, if he had told me on the phone this is what he wanted me to come help him do, I wouldn't have went. I would not have come.
Now, when you got there to the house, what could you have done, though?
I could have told him I wasn't going to do it. I reckon. I said, no, man, I ain't doing all that.
And then when the investigators came to begin with and talked to you about it, what could you have done?
I could have come clean then. I realize all this now, Sean. I do.
I know you do.
And
I know you do. But see, I like to hear sincerity and in this being sincere from your heart. But I want to also feel it.
Yeah.
I want to feel it from you, because there was some ugly that was done here. Ugly. I'm talking about some ugliness.
Yes.
Could you imagine shooting somebody for one thing, but then coming back and realizing that she's still alive, asking for help, and then stabbing them?
I think about that.
And that what Herman told you?
He said that's what happened. He said that's what happened. By this time, we're in the truck going to get rid of the body, and I'm thinking, my God, how could you have done something like that? And the girl asking you to help her, she didn't know she had been shot. I don't reckon. By the way, that he said she was asking him for help.
Was he laughing when he was telling you this?
No, it wasn't laughing. He was very serious. He was very serious when he was talking to me about all this.
And you said you think he walked her into the bedroom?
I think probably he did. Well, she had to get there some way. Because he said she was on the couch when he shot her.
So he shoots her.
Yeah.
And then you think he leaves.
He said he left.
Then he comes back. And she's begging him for help.
Yeah.
And you said you think that he walked her into the bedroom.
I think he did, yes, sir.
And then he tried to choke her and kill her. And that didn't work.
That's what he told me.
And then he went back and got a knife. He comes back. And as he's looking her in the eye, he stabs her.
It'll ring in a minute.
Is it-
No, it won't. No, I'll put it on vibrate.
Mhm.
Put it on vibrate. That's what he told me happened. That's what he said to me that he done. And I
Randy,
remember, I remember thinking now, damn, that's pretty damn gruesome. That's
Randy, that's the worst thing I've ever heard of.
that's awful. It's terrible. Thinking about it now, if you shot her and you come back and she was still alive and everything, why didn't he just take her to the hospital? There have been questions about her getting shot. There was a bullet hole there. I know there was. But whatever would have happened. But she wasn't dead at that time.
Do you know that? Did you see her alive?
No, not that day. I didn't know. I didn't see her that lady alive. Like I say, when I got there and looked in that bedroom, there she lay. And I stood there for a little bit, trying to see if she was breathing or not. Because she had blood all over and all that kind of stuff. I was trying to see if she was alive.
And you noticed no breathing,
No breathing whatsoever, no respiration.
no living
But I
soul.
could tell. I mean, the fact that her bowels had emptied then, you know, you could smell it. I'm thinking, my God, what has he done did? You know, I feel so bad about it all. I mean, sure, I've had thoughts of, you know, I wish somebody would go and leave me alone and not bother me no more. Hey, I ain't gonna kill nobody. I don't think I got it in me. I really don't, unless it was just a life or death kind of thing, you know.
You know, really, that's how most human beings are.
I ain't gonna hurt nobody like that. I ain't gonna do it. When I worked over at that jail, the only bad words I ever had to them inmates, if they just kept on. You know, wouldn't do right. You know, and they just kept on. And then I'd have to holler at them or something, you know. A couple of times it escalated into a fight. Well, you know, they were coming after me, so I defended myself. I done that. But after it's over with, I was hoping it wasn't hurt too bad.
Randy, did Herman say anything about Isabella during this time?
No, not during that time. She didn't. No, he didn't say anything about Izzy. Now, you know, before he had said that, you know, they would really love to get custody of that baby, so that, you know, she'd have a stable home.
Is that what you were saying earlier? Basically, is that's why he couldn't kick her out?
Yeah. Because he knew that if he did, then she'd take that child with her to God knows where. So, you know, of course, thinking about it, I wouldn't want that to happen either.
I got one question. Hold on a minute. I got one question.
Okay.
When y'all left the house, what did y'all do with her pocketbook and cell phone?
I didn't ever see her pocketbook, cell phone.
Keys or anything?
I never see anything like that. I mean, we left there with her body, but I didn't see any of that other stuff, pocketbook, you know, telephone, or all that.
So you never saw none of that?
No, I never seen none
Did
of that.
he ever, or did y'all ever look in her pockets? Or
No. I touched her the least amount as possible. Okay, I didn't. I mean, it still kind of gives me the chills thinking about it all.
when you lifted her onto the plastic, was she cold then?
Yeah,
Was she warm at all?
there wasn't no warmth in her body.
Completely cold?
She was cold. She was cold.
What about rigor mortis? Do you know what that is?
When your body stiffens up, I guess it hadn't set in yet. You know, so I mean, because she wasn't stiff. Wasn't stiff.
Has Herman talked about anything since then about cleaning up the house or what he did with the tarps and all that kind of stuff?
Well, he said he was going to burn all that. I wasn't present when he did, but he said he was going to burn it. And you know, I'm pretty sure he probably did. He had said he went there and cleaned it up best he could in the bedroom. You know, tried to make it all the blood and whatever. You know, tried to clean it all up.
When you were in her bedroom, did you see any needles or
I didn't
drugs
notice
or anything like that?
I didn't notice any. I really didn't. My mind was in such a state of shock. All I seen was her. I mean, really, that I seen her laying there.
Yeah, tunnel vision.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I wasn't noticing what was around her. Or really, I knew the room was a mess. I know that. But as far as any details or anything, I don't remember really.
Did you see any suitcases or anything?
I didn't notice any suitcases. No.
What has Herman said about our investigation?
Your investigation.
Did he ever?
I won't tell you some of the colorful language that he has said, because I just don't think it's necessary to say that.
About who?
Well, about the investigation
Police.
and the GBI, law enforcement in general. I don't see any reason in repeating all
So he
that.
doesn't have a very high opinion of law enforcement.
Right now, we don't know.
Has he ever said anything? Ever been worried about? I think they're getting close, or
No, he
Ever been
hadn't said
concerned?
that. He ain't said that. Now he's worried. He's concerned. I mean, you know, I can see that in him. You know, he's very, very concerned about the whole thing.
was he confident that he wasn't going to get caught, or?
No, he ain't got a lot of confidence about that. He really don't. I think he's expecting to get caught, you know, at some point. And, well, now he is, I guess. But, you know, he hadn't said, I'm going to get away with it or nothing like that. He ain't said that to me. He ain't said that to me. I'd probably told him he was a fool if he did. Had told me that.
Randy, is there anything that we haven't asked you about that you feel you need to share with us, or maybe we should have asked about?
I've been trying to think some of the time I've been in here about anything I ain't told. And as far as I can think of, I have pretty well said everything that I know that's factual, that I know for a fact. I mean, I can't tell you, something that I didn't see or witness or nothing like that.
And don't expect you to.
And I've told you what I know, for a fact.
Let me, for the record, say this. Randy, did you take us to the location that y'all took Sunday
I did.
after she was killed?
I did, yes.
Okay, and when we got there, was the body there?
Yes.
Okay, and you're correct. You took us directly there, and yes, there was a corpse there, or at least skeleton. Again, has anybody forced you to tell us or take us anywhere?
No, sir, y'all ain't.
Have we been good to you?
Yeah, none of y'all's made any threats towards me or any tried to coerce me or nothing like that.
This is coming from where?
It's coming from my heart.
From your heart.
It feels a little better, but like I say, I'm still a little nervous. Still.
I understand you all. I understand you all.
Well, one more question, Randy.
Sure.
Did Herman ever say anything about the family coming up? And
He said they was coming up to hunt for her. Yeah, he said that he let them use his 4-wheelers, to help in the search. He's told me that they were, really looking for them around the area.
were they close?
Oh, no, they never, to my knowledge, never got out there, as far as I know. And I don't think nobody knew anything about that's where she was at. As far as law enforcement people, I don't think they did.
I can assure you nobody knew where it was at except for y'all. I mean,
Yeah.
if we'd have known where it was at, we'd have gone.
Y'all would have been there.
Yeah.
He said he has offered to help search for her. But they told him no, that they didn't want him nowhere around. Blood's kind of bad between him and the girl's family. Because they suspect him too.
Yeah.
And of course, y'all know that.
Anything else?
No, I think we're good.
What time you got?
It is now 2:29.
2:29. We're gonna stop the interview.
Get mine. This concludes the interview with Randy Tomlinson. Today's date is May 27th. Time of conclusion is 2:29 p.m. President Special Agent Graham Russ, Special Agent Sean Egger, and Randy Tomlinson located at the Tift County Sheriff's Office, Criminal Investigations Division.